Gary Heidnik is a name that sends shivers down the spine. Known for his horrific crimes in Philadelphia during the late 1980s, Heidnik's story is one of unimaginable horror and cruelty. Stay with us as we delve into the terrifying case of the Heidnik horror and uncover the shocking details of his twisted mind. Gary Heidnik seemed like an ordinary man. He was intelligent and had served in the U.S. Army. After his discharge, he became a successful investor, amassing a considerable fortune. But beneath this facade, Heidnik was deeply disturbed, harboring dark and twisted fantasies. The nightmare began in November 1986, when Heidnik kidnapped his first victim, Josefina Rivera. Over the next 4 months, he abducted 5 more women: Sandra Lindsay, Lisa Thomas, Deborah Dudley, Jacqueline Askins, and Agnes Adams. He kept them in the basement of his house at 3520 North Marshall Street in Philadelphia. The conditions were horrific. The basement was a dungeon. Heidnik kept the women chained and confined in a pit he had dug in the floor. They were subjected to torture, starvation, and abuse. Heidnik's goal was to create a baby farm, where he intended to impregnate the women and raise their children. The horrors the women endured were beyond comprehension. One of the most tragic aspects of this case was the fate of Sandra Lindsay. She was mentally disabled and had known Heidnik for years. Heidnik tortured her relentlessly, and when she eventually died from malnutrition and neglect, he disposed of her body in a gruesome manner. He dismembered her and attempted to dispose of her remains by cooking them, mixing her flesh with dog food, and feeding it to the other captives. However, in March 1987, Josefina Rivera managed to escape. She went straight to the police and told them everything. Her bravery and quick thinking were crucial in ending Heidnik's reign of terror. When the police raided Heidnik's house, they found the remaining women in the basement, chained and in terrible condition. The rescue was a dramatic and emotional moment, as the women were finally freed from their nightmarish captivity. Heidnik was arrested and charged with multiple counts of kidnapping, rape, and murder. During his trial, his defense tried to plead insanity, but the jury saw through it. The evidence of his meticulous planning and the calculated nature of his crimes were overwhelming. In July 1988, Heidnik was found guilty and sentenced to death. Gary Heidnik spent over a decade on death row, showing little remorse for his actions. He was executed by lethal injection on July 6, 1999, bringing an end to one of the most horrifying chapters in Philadelphia's history.